Good afternoon, friends. Let's talk about worthiness, self-worth. Let's talk about that today. Let's talk about how we need to know our self-worth. And we need to understand that we are worthy of so much more than we think we are. We continue to put up with the same crap that we put up with time and time again from all relationships we're in, whether it is family or a work relationship or a romantic relationship. We continue to let people destroy our self-worth for their benefit. Let's talk relationship-wise. Let's talk romantic relationship-wise, because I've been out of the work part of things for quite a while because of my disability. So it's been a while. So I don't. Things have changed in the work field and all that with all. So let's talk about relationships though. Why is it that we continue to give and give and give? We change our life. We change our lifestyle. We change up our home. We change up our likes, maybe our dislikes. We decide to try new things. We decide to maybe let some things go that maybe the person we're with does not like or they're not wild about us doing. So we stop doing it for their benefit. Why is it we do that? When these people will not walk across a room and sit on the sofa next to you, and they sure in the world will not walk across the street to meet you even. So why do you put in the effort time and time again for people who will not put in the effort for you? Now, granted, they just as much as you carry in the childhood trauma, the childhood abuse, the adult abuse, the adult trauma you have from previous relationships, from whatever. You carry that in as well as they carry that in. But how long do we keep making that as an excuse for them? When we're willing to put in the work ourselves to do what we need to do to heal that within ourselves, to recognize that it is a problem for us, and that it is going to be a problem moving forward in any relationship that we have with anyone. So we don't want to do that to people. We want to heal it, or at least recognize it and talk about it so that our partner is aware of it and we can kind of work through it together in the hopes that they will do the same. But again, we're talking about someone who doesn't realize their self-worth. And so they're not going to want to go to those uncomfortable places. They don't want to go to that vulnerable spot. Vulnerability means unsafe. We know this ourselves. Unsafe is traumatizing for us. So we don't want to go there. But if we truly want to make it work with a person, and we're willing and have put out the effort thus far, then that should make, you would think, that person we're with want to be vulnerable, want to step into the uncomfortable, the unsafe, so that there can be happiness, a neutral ground met between the two of you. But unfortunately, it doesn't happen. We continue to give and give and give, and then it becomes to the point where they expect you to give, drop everything to give them, to do everything, and then you continue to suffer because you get nothing. And it's not right, it's not fair. So in the process, we end up then lowering our self-worth, which lowers our self-esteem, which lowers our self-confidence, which lowers our self-love in the long run, which then interferes with our peace and our mental health. Because we are people pleasing to these people. And it's not right. It's not fair. So we have to step back and say, okay, I'm doing and have done all that I can do. I'm not doing anymore. I am not giving anymore. I am not going to. I'm standing in it. I'm putting my foot down and I'm drawing a line in the sand. And you're either going to start trying to make an effort. You're either going to start matching my energy and matching my effort. Or we're going to have to just part, because I am not going to settle any longer, because we understand that we are worth more. We understand what we deserve. We know what we want out of life. We know what we want in a partner. We know what our vision and goal for our future is clear to us now. We've done the work. They may not be ready to meet us at that point yet. And so it's going to have to be that you have to make that stand and say, okay, I love you. I love you, but I can't deal with this. I can't do this. You are just unable to attempt, match me, even show any inclination of trying to give me what I want and need out of this. So unfortunately, as much as I love you and as much as it's going to hurt me and it's going to hurt you, I'm going to have to just step away. I mean, what other alternative do you have? Do you go no contact with them for a while so they maybe get the picture that, hey, something's wrong? Well, that causes trauma to them, and you don't want to cause them any more trauma than they already have, because you have to remember they love you. They do love you. They're just petrified to move, to do anything, because they don't know their self-worth. They don't know that. They don't have that self-love. No matter what they tell the world, no matter what their shell shows, whatever this meat suit shows to the world doesn't mean a hill of beans. It's what's inside, your energy. What your energy feeds to the world that truly, shows who you are and where you stand with all that. And so they are definitely not, giving that kind of energy. And those of us that are sensitive to energy and can read energy definitely know it. But when it is bad enough, you don't even have to really know how to read energy well to know. You just get that vibe, you get that gut feeling, that intuition kicks in, and you're like, look, I can't deal with this anymore. I can't. So we really need to start making some really, unfortunately, difficult decisions maybe. Or having some difficult conversations with our partners. Because, if not, we're going to cost ourselves. And we're not going to be able to then, if they do decide to step up, the damage they've done to us may be to the point where they were when they're finally able to step up and give us what we want and need and deserve. So we're unable to reciprocate what now they're finally giving us. And then there's going to be issues there of trusting, well, if I give you what I've deserved all along, what's to say you're not going to go back to that? Your track record shows completely the opposite of what's going on right now. It's not an easy task. Relationships are not easy to begin with. They're not. But it's a give and take. It's a 50-50. But when you're dealing with someone who is only giving, say, 2%, at the most 10%, and you're giving the other 90%, the other 98%, that's not right, and that's not fair. And what's really bad is they know that. They know that, and they want to give more. But again, It's because of what's happened to them in their past. But again, I say this. How long do we use that for them to use? How long do we allow them to use that as a crutch to stand on before we say, you got to start walking on your own? You got to start going and getting that looked at, or whatever you need to do to get that wound healed so that you can stand on your own and not, need that crutch. It's horrible what we do to individuals in a relationship, our past relationships. And look, none of us, I don't care who you are, none of us have not caused some kind of damage to our past partners. Okay? If you can sit here and tell me that you have done nothing wrong, you have been absolute saint, you're full of fucking shit, and I'm going to tell you that to your face, because you have done something that has caused them some kind of an issue. And you need to have some real talk with yourself and start really getting into your journal work and start really, getting into your shadow work and all. Get this book right here. This is a game changer. Game changer. Shadow workbook. Game changer. Get volume 1 or the revised edition. Do your work. But if you can sit there and say that, then you've got some definite work you need to do. But we really need to make some choices, though, folks. We can't continue to suffer because of what we're not getting. It's not fair. It is not fair. If they're not willing to put in the effort, you've talked to them, maybe you went no contact, and they're not willing to show you an effort, they're going to continue to take that inch and turn it into a mile that you're giving them. They're going to keep, expecting you to give, expecting you to do when you're just tired of doing. Then you really need to make that decision, no matter what it brings you, the heartache it brings you, no matter what the heartache it brings them. Because maybe that's what it would take, would be the breakup, before they really stop and they're able to say, hey, I realize now that I didn't give everything I could give. I need to do some work. And maybe down the road they can come back, but don't look for that. You stay laser focused on what you know, your future, the crystal clear future that you have right there in front of you. Don't continue to step backwards for people who won't move forwards. Know your self-worth, folks. Know your self-worth. Your self-worth. And when you do the work on healing yourself, you will fully understand your self-worth. Believe me, it took intense outpatient group therapy, journaling, doing my shadow work, understanding my past relationships, understanding my childhood traumas. And I am no way saying I am healed, because I'm not. We are all constantly healing. Nobody can say they are fully healed. You heal from things and you're always working to heal more, but you are never 100% fully healed. I'm sorry. I will not ever subscribe to that. You can heal from things, but you are never 100% fully healed. Things will happen that the things that you have healed will get triggered, will trigger that you have healed, and it can affect you and will affect you. Understand you deserve more than you're getting. And stop giving to people who will not reciprocate to you. Your needs, wants, desires are valid, legitimate, and real. And they need to be addressed and they need to be acknowledged, just as theirs are. They are not there for you to revolve around them. And I'm not saying they're a narcissist by any chance. I'm just saying that you need to stop revolving around them and the two of you revolve together. Revolve around this world together with the world, instead of you being the one revolving around them and letting them be the world. So I hope that this kind of snaps into some of you into reality. I hope that it makes you kind of think, hey, I really need to do some reevaluation. I need to maybe do some shadow work. I need to maybe, have some uncomfortable conversations. I need to go no contact. Whatever it takes. Don't sacrifice yourself for someone who is not willing to give, not willing to talk to you, not willing to be vulnerable, not willing to be open, not willing to be real and raw with you. No matter what they show on the outside, no matter what they're telling the world, because your gut's telling you and the energy's telling you completely different things. So I hope this helps some of you.